Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can see here, I've got my own mini nursery happening. These are plants that I've amassed over the last 4 months or so. Some of these were buy one get one free, some of them were purchased on clearance at the end of the season. Some of them were Christmas items that were brought in, and at the end of the season they mark them down. That's the best time to buy evergreens, and so some of these will be there. Other items were birthday presents and Christmas presents. So we have a lot we're going to plant. We have a lot of content coming for the garden, changes being made to certain areas, the addition of evergreens in others, and I'm adding about 8 more flowering trees to the garden, or maybe 9 flowering trees to the garden to add more color in the spring. So today's video, we're going to be working in a new flower bed that I'm developing. And y'all, this flower bed started back in probably September, October. And I am just now returning to it because we've had quite a bit of construction here at our home. And I'll show you in future videos and you'll get to see a lot has changed. And just some necessary repairs that we needed to have done has taken place. But that means that I am delayed because they were working on the roof, on the porch, just all over the yard, clearing out spaces, putting down new driveway, and that meant that I needed to be out of their way. Now is the time where I'm finally out here and I'm getting ready to install this new flower bed, as well as several other plants in various other places, plus cleaning up the garden for spring because, as you can tell behind me, my daffodils are blooming, and if you can't see it yet, I'll show you. And my roses are beginning to bud out. They're leafing out, which means they need to be cut back. The hydrangeas have swollen buds, which is what I look for when I cut them back. So it is time for me to really hit the ball running and get busy gardening. The first thing we're going to do today is install this obelisk. This obelisk is so beautiful. I went with one of my friends. One of my best friends was in town for a week around Christmas time. And she and I went to Pike's Nursery in Peachtree City, Georgia. And when I got there, I saw this and it spoke to me. And my friend said, "Look, she looks like a woman with hips." And she does. And so I purchased her. And then I thought she needs the perfect pink rose to go climbing on her. And so I got this one. It's called Kiss Me Kate. It's an arbor rose. It's highly fragrant. It's a medium pink and it has classical bud shape, which almost look like little cups. And it has dark foliage and it's a vigorous climber. The mature height is 10 feet high and 4 feet wide. I also purchased a clematis or clematis to go on this same obelisk along with the rose in the new flower bed. Now the new flower bed, the primary colors are pink, white, and purple with accents of yellow to tie in the bed that is next to it. So come with me as we install this, get this rose planted, and also get that clematis planted out. The first thing I'm going to do is to cut back this big old Lady Banks rose. Y'all, I had to dig her up after about 15 years in the same place. She's alive, but what I'm going to do is cut off all her limbs so she can put all her energies into putting down new roots. Hopefully she doesn't die. I do have another one elsewhere in the yard, so push comes to shove, I'll purchase another one, but I would like to save the original one if I can. Lady Banks roses bloom one time. They're quite floriferous. I'll insert some footage of it in bloom last year. It is quite dramatic when it puts on its show. It is a buttery pale yellow and it is a thornless rose. The thing about it is it can grow to be about 40 feet tall. I did not know this at the time. The nursery where I bought it from did not give me that information, or else I would not have planted it where I did. And when we were renovating and building a new porch, I had to move it because it was literally where the porch was going to be. We extended the porch 5 feet, and the rose bush was now smack dab in the middle of the porch. So I had to dig her up. So let me clean that up, and then what I'm going to do is get planting. It is beginning to drizzle a little bit, although rain was not forecasted, so I want to beat the rain. All right, everything has been cut. This is my new tool, or rather hubby's new tool that I've appropriated and use in the garden. Now it's raining. Hopefully I can get back out here in a few minutes or so. I'm gonna throw these on the burn pit before I run inside. Okay, first thing we're going to do is get the rose in the ground, then we put the obelisk over it, then we'll plant the clematis and let it run and intertwine. Something new to me in the garden this year is this auger. Y'all, it's been a game changer. I can plant a tree in less time than it used to take me with the shovel. And I am still recovering from tendonitis, which I had all garden season last year, and was hard to garden because every time I moved my arm, it hurt. And at one time I couldn't even move my arm above my head or hold a cup, it'll fall. Had to go to orthopedic doctor and have treatment for it. So now I'm back in the garden this year. I had to take some time off, y'all. And I feel a whole lot better. I'm not healed, I still hurt, but I'm not as inflamed as I was probably maybe 6-7 months ago. No, 7-8 months ago. So let me get this thing planted. This is what they call a pulp pot. So this pot is intended to be planted, but I don't like planting in them because sometimes they take a while to decompose and then the rose roots don't get enough space. So I'm going to take it out and put it in the ground. You can see that it is very much alive. See all the greenery? So I'm going to plant it and bury it up to here so that that can grow. So far, I have cut back the Ladybank's rose here. I have installed the obelisk right here with the rose and the clematis. I have a yellow evergreen to put in here, as well as a royal raindrops crabapple to install in here. For today, I wanted to get the basic backbone of this bed planted so that I can fill in around and get the rest of my plants in the ground. So today is all about just getting the skeleton in place. And I'm going to turn you around and show you what I'm talking about once I get everything planted. The first thing we're going to add to this bed, as I've told you, is a splash of yellow. This is a Forever Goldie Arborvitae. Grows between 8 and 10 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. So it's the perfect cone-shaped plant to add to a flower bed. It doesn't get too big, so it won't take over. This is the dwarf baby blue saguaro cypress from Monrovia. It will be this beautiful blue color. Let me get you a closer look when it's not winter. And then it grows 6 feet tall by 4 feet wide, and it maintains a pyramid shape. Our other evergreen with a touch of yellow is called Nightlight Chemisiporus. It grows 4 to 5 feet high by 4 to 5 feet wide. And I'm planting this for interest in color, but also in leaf texture. And because as I'm adding these evergreens, I want you to see how much more the bed is looking like a flower bed. Even with the obelisk, even with a few trees, it was still looking empty because there are no leaves on the trees. But once you add your evergreens, all of a sudden the flower bed pops. I think I'm going to put this one right on the corner here. Here. Come on now. Wow. Once I start adding in my perennials and my shrubs, it's going to look like a totally different bed, which it already does. This crabapple is going over there. This is the Royal Raindrops crabapple. Has beautiful burgundy leaves, blooms a almost magenta color in the spring. It's going to go over there for the burgundy contrast. Now I also moved my ornamental plum tree in this bed, but it has been struggling since I planted it. And if it grows, fantastic. If not, no big loss. But I wanted a sure burgundy color, and so I picked this up. This one, I think it's 15 to 20 feet tall and about 15 feet wide. It's considered a small tree, so it's going to go right there by the bench. So in the spring, the dogwood will bloom, this crabapple will bloom, and together they'll make a nice pairing. The last tree that I'm adding to this bed is this one. It's called Acer palmatum. So it's a Japanese maple, and it's called Purple Ghost. It is a deep plum purple foliage with black veining. I'm planting it further back because it gets 15 feet tall by 8 feet wide, and I want it to be able to get shade from these established trees. So it's going to be back there. Yeah. So far, that's what we got. I do have a couple of gardenias, some azaleas, which are also evergreen, and I might add those as well, just for and a couple of boxwoods also, so that we can have all the evergreen in place before I start playing with my colors from my roses and my other shrubs that will be added to this bed. Okay, I have laid everything out how I want it. And the reason this is going like this is because I'm leaving space for my roses and some hydrangeas that I want to add in. And then to the front will be lower perennials, and then my daffodils, and then yearly my tulips. The reason I'm doing that is because over here has these trees, so it'll get a little bit more shade at times, mostly full sun. And I wanted this open area to be for the roses so that they could get full sun. I think I'm going to add either a boxwood or a holly here and shape it into a ball. Or I could do one of these arborvitaes here. Planet Earth, they get to be 4 foot by 4 foot here. So we'll see. But let me get busy planting because I'm losing daylight. Okay, everyone, I am done for the day. So far, I've got my evergreen and tree skeleton in place. And then now I'll be adding my shrubs, my perennials, and my annuals. I'm still short, I think, one more maybe 2 more evergreens. This whole stretch here, I don't like, it's too naked, but I'll add as I find what I'm looking for. The shape of this bed is going to curve towards the door of the shed to allow for easy access. The door is 4 foot wide, so I'm leaving a 5-foot path leading up to it. That's sufficient space for my husband to get through with his chair. He can turn around because it's a 0 turn. And then this path here has to stay open because the tractor and any heavy equipment that comes here comes down this path. All right, so far we have our 3 Encore azaleas. These are autumn sunburst. And then we have 2 compactum hollies flanking the door to the shed. So we have the double mint gardenia. There are 2 of those. This is a flamethrower redbud. So it has all kinds of colors in it. So it'll pick up the yellow from this and just, it'll be a nice contrast here. This was a gift from one of my best friends. When spring hits, I will prune it up for the season. Then we planted our Kiss Me Kate arbor rose here. And I added that purple Japanese maple over there, so it'll get some shade. I replaced the Japanese maple that was here. It got ran over by a bulldozer and then a skid steer because the guy, despite the fact it had a tag, I don't know, it got ran over, so I had to replace it. So did a couple of hydrangeas, some veronicas, and a couple garas. This whole section is empty because everything here, what he would do is before the shed came, he would just come up the path here, straight through there, straight through the bed, and then over there. So this is why I'm now only working on this bed because, yeah, I had to end up digging up some of my stuff, putting them back in the pots, which are over there, and I've got to get those in the ground as well. So the crabapple went here, redbud went here, the Royal Raindrops redbud. This is the Forever Goldie arborvitae. This is that dwarf blue saguaro cypress. And then this is a witch hazel that was a gift from a friend, Steve. These are 3 buddleias. These are the lavender, what are they called? I'll put it on the screen from Proven Winners. So this is what we're looking at so far today. I am loving how over here looks with all those evergreens. I want the same thing for this corner as well. Thank you so much for joining me today as I spent some time outside in the yard working on my new flower bed and getting the skeleton foundation of that garden bed put in. As always, if you've enjoyed this content or any of the content on my channel, please consider subscribing. Happy gardening.